Hey guys, Kyle, the Dead Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 947. Okay, so right out of the gate, I have to say that Queen really lucked the fuck out in this episode, as immediately after regaining her memories, Big Mom basically passed out. And I have to say that while the extreme lengths that Queen goes to in order to keep her subdued are insanely hilarious, it does kind of give perspective to the fact that he is that the fact that he is going to such lengths at all is kind of a terrifying reminder to us as the viewer that just pretty much how much of a monster Big Mom truly is. If Queen, one of the people just under Kaido, like pretty much fears him, as like he even fears Big Mom, especially now that she's regained her memory, which, yeah, once again, Queen, I gotta point out, is completely on you, bro. Like, you fucked up the moment you decided to be all flashy and use that brachio bomber on her. Like, you should have known. Like again, I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, bro, that one's pretty much all on you. Um, you put yourself in that position, dude. Of course, on the flip side to that, we also see that thanks to Big Mom, the Udon mine is pretty much is way more vulnerable position now than it was before. After she arrived, and so it's weird to say, but it's thanks to Big Mom arriving that also combined with what Caribou did has created the perfect opportunity in this episode for pretty much what happens. Like, it's all thanks to Big Mom just kind of wrecking shit, and what Caribou's done, that it creates the perfect scenario in order for everyone to just kind of go wild now, as we're about to see from the preview, I believe, what we're about to see basically. Next week, I assume, like next week's, I think, is going to be insane. Um, with that said, what happens in this episode with Babanuki using the fears of the prisoners to manipulate them against Luffy truly shows there is no limit to what Kaido's men will do, and no tactic is even too dirty in order for them to gain control over a situation, which is the direct opposite to Luffy, and in some ways, what pretty much Babanuki and basically I think it's Daifu and basically Daigoro, I think his name is, the Scorpion guy, do in this episode. It very much exposes Luffy's biggest flaw in this regard, and however it is very revealing contrast that shows just how much Luffy and the Straw Hats truly are the moral opposite to Kaido and his crew, which is good. It is good to point. It is good to take time in order to point out pretty much the pretty much moral differences between the two opposing factions. However, at the same time, it does beg with what's going on in this episode and what's kind of revealed in some ways. It does beg the question: can Luffy afford to hold on to that morality when facing Kaido in the future? Because through pretty much all of Babanuki's manipulation of the prisoners, it also exposes to Luffy that Kaido's vice grip on Wano is in fact much stronger than we might have initially thought, and how this truly isn't like a Dressrosa or an Alabasta situation. Like, both Kaido and Orochi have complete dominion over Wano. Like, there isn't any, like, in this current situation that we're facing, there really isn't any loophole exposed when it comes to this situation with Wano. It isn't like a Dressrosa or an Alabasta, in the sense where there really isn't any kind of loophole that Kaido or Orochi have really left unattended. Like, there's really no like weak point to Kaido or Orochi's current plan that can really be exploited. They pretty much have what they have to do is just pretty much go on with a pretty much full on takedown of both of them in order to really change anything. And even in that situation, even in that situation, it just even begs the question even more. Like, there's just this genuine feeling that even if even if Luffy and his alliance and whatnot managed to take down Kaido, that he still has some kind of insurance policy in order to kind of maintain control of Wano or something. Like there's just something about this that there's overall like this whole episode just exposed that Wano is under complete dominion of Kaido and Orochi right now, and that there's really nothing there's really no plan in order to truly take in order to like no weakness that can really be exposed in order to take Wano back from Kaido right now. So yeah. Um, with that said, between the preview and Kawamatsu about to throw down the gauntlet in this episode, it also pretty much shows that everything is about to be flipped upside down in the prison mine, and that everything from here is more than likely to hit the fan hard non-stop next week. Because when you also add to the fact that Momonosuke and Tama entered the mine, you can see all the pieces are starting to at least fall into place perfectly for a small sliver of hope to return, as Kawamatsu had said. Although I do have to say that Plague Bullet was way more fucked up than I remember being, but hey, I guess it showed the Queen lived up to the title he's known for, which is Queen of the Plague. And again, obviously with basically and again, obviously with Momonosuke like pretty much like entering the mine. Like going off what I said about very little opportunities in order to actually basically going off what I said with Kaido and Orochi having like complete dominion over Wano, it shows that really at the end that there really isn't any plan. There isn't really any way to like expose them or just kind of or get them to or get them to step down. But however, with that being said, with Momonosuke entering the mine, it does show that Momonosuke right now, he really is the only hope that Wano has to be free. Like every bit of hope that Wano has in order to be like free of Kaido and Orochi's grip, it really all lies on Momonosuke's shoulders, and nothing can happen to him. Like he can't die. He has to be absolute. He has to make every single right move possible in order to make sure that he's the key. Momonosuke right now is the key that's keeping any semblance of hope alive. And unfortunately, that in itself is also going to lead with a direct confrontation with Kaido. So yeah, there's very few options in this situation right now. Also, well, you could say part of. Also, I will say that maybe one of the biggest flaws of this episode is that Luffy fighting the grunts was a little tedious, but I do also like how once again with Luffy fighting those people, it's used as a means to show Luffy having a firmer grasp on the idea of how to use rope properly. But on the flip side of that, I do have to admit, compared to the last couple of weeks, where the pacing has overall been pretty good, this week's episode pacing was not one of its stronger elements, and it wasn't necessarily bad either, just not as strong as last week's episode. However, although I will admit, another good thing to come out of this episode is that it was great to finally see like Kiku and Chopper finally jump into things, because it has, I'm not gonna lie, it has felt like they haven't been doing anything for a long ass time. So to see them just kind of jump in the fray, just kind of start beating on people, it was just nice to see. And which I guess if Toei was trying to recapture my feelings of reading the manga week to week and just yelling for Chopper and Kiku to do something, I guess in that regards it's exceeded. So I guess I gotta give them congrats on that. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.